Careful on the chair. All the chairs are broken, so that could catastrophically collapse.
Where
at
is
any
it
moment.
broken?
At the hinge point here. It's got like a dozen nails.
Oh, wait, so I could just like fall?
You could easily just fall and die at any moment.
That looks really sharp. That feels really sharp too.
Totally.
Am I gonna get stabbed in the butt?
Definitely.
Oh no, not again.
There's a chair over here that has a cushion but no back support, so you gotta make a choice. You want
Do I want
cushion
wrist?
or back support?
No.
Well, that one's already broken, so.
Oh no, so they both could just collapse.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with this one.
Okay.
Feels stable so far.
Mm.
I'm gonna like just not
try not
move.
to move at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop breathing.
No sudden movements.
Oh my god.
How was the comedy last night?
Okay. The only people who came, actually no, sorry, like 80% of the people there were only the people who came for open mic.
Naturally.
But it was fine. Some people were like practicing old. I think almost everyone was practicing old sets. I got some laughs.
Shit, yeah.
I talked about pooping in a car again.
Naturally.
Yeah, like
You poop in a lot of cars.
No, just one. But I actually pooped in a bag again. Second time in my life.
Just like yesterday or what?
No, like a month ago. It was because like my roommate was using the bathroom.
You're an animal.
I know, I'm not a real person. My roommate was using the bathroom and she was taking a really well, she took like 10 minutes. But for me it felt
That's
like
a long time when you have explosive diarrhea.
Exactly. No, it wasn't even diarrhea. It's just, like,
Sure, it wasn't.
I just really had to go.
Yeah.
And so I was like, should I wait? And then I waited, but then like at the 8-minute mark I was like, I gotta go, so I pooped in my trash bag.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't.
Did you then just throw it out the window at people walking by?
I should have. I don't know. I didn't. Would like poke some holes in it.
Tis China.
No, but I didn't like leave it on my desk because I was like, I'm gonna go downstairs in like 10 minutes.
Like right on your desk. The shit on your desk. You just left the shit on your
It
desk.
was in a bag. It was in 2 bags.
Is there enough bags though? Can there ever be enough layers of bag?
Between my poop. I mean, it's my poop.
Let me put it this way.
So
Would you put the
bag.
bag on your face?
Of course. It depends on the situation. I might. If I like really had to, or someone's paying me a lot of
When
money.
would you ever really have to?
I don't know. Like this is the only safe place to put it for now.
Oh, okay.
My face.
Yeah, naturally.
But yeah, I waited until I had to leave, and then I like brought the poop bag with me and threw it in the garbage bin like a civilized adult.
I'm sure that is definitely what civilized adults do. And I think that's a good place to intro. Thank you everybody for coming back. It's another episode of Bullshit and Video Games. We're here with our guest Celine for today. Why don't you say hello?
What's up?
Cool. So you play a lot of video games, huh? I heard that you have a problem with lag.
Oh my god.
Here in China.
Okay, China. I play a lot of Overwatch, like as you do.
I mean, I don't. You know, because I'm not a casual.
You're a wrong person.
Overwatch.
Why are you saying it like that?
I don't know. Go on.
Like you're trying to make it a dirty word, but they're both so neutral. Over and watch.
Yeah, but when you put them together, I feel like it's the kind of people who poop in the bags. Definitely.
I pooped in way too many bags. Like there's the number should be 0, but mine is 2. But you know, I play so much Overwatch, and I like to play. I play on the America or the Asia servers. I play on the American servers because people speak English. But the lag is horrible. Like, it's so bad that I teleport. Like, I'll be playing...
clip into walls and stuff?
Exactly. Like, or it won't... I won't see where I actually am on the map. So I'll, like, walk off a cliff or something. Because to me, I'm just walking normally, but then...
Yeah, of course.
But the like is, like... Yeah. It's a lot. It's, like, by
it's like a 4 second delay or
exactly.
Something like that, yeah.
Exactly. And then I'll be like, oh, I died. Or someone will suddenly, their ult will suddenly appear. Like, do you know about the ults?
No.
Okay, there's some ults, like, there's one person who essentially she makes like a giant gravity ball that sucks all the enemies.
You mean ultimate?
Ultimate, yeah.
Okay.
It's like their special move.
Totally.
I sound so nerd.
Fucking nerd. No, when I hear ult, I think ALT, like alternate character.
Oh,
because I think of World of Warcraft.
Oh, because you suck.
Yeah, well, no, because I'm, I'm
a nerd.
I don't know what to say. I don't poop in bags, damn it.
But there's one character who like shoots at this gravity ball, and I was playing a game and it just suddenly appeared. I was like, oh, it's suddenly there. Like you normally you like see it has an arc and everything, but it was just like suddenly in front of me. Or sometimes I'll die from an ult and I'll be like, oh, I didn't know that I died yet. It took me like 3 seconds for my computer to realize.
Is there lag if you play on the Asian server?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. There's actually a China-specific server for Overwatch. I don't know why. You're like, I don't want to get this. I don't want to get this podcast banned.
No. Well, it's definitely not coming out on any Chinese platforms, so it doesn't matter. Well, from all the video games I've heard of, like PUBG, for example, they have a lot of hackers coming from China. And so, like, games like PUBG started just outright banning Chinese IPs and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because they're cheating like you wouldn't believe. So it wouldn't surprise me if they just gave China its own server.
They're just like, you do your own.
Yeah,
if you guys want to cheat, do it on your own.
Yeah, exactly. All cheaters can just play against each other.
I wouldn't do this, but I really want to like step on the lever and make you fall.
No, that's not how it happens.
Do you pull the lever?
Go ahead, step on it.
Oh, is it? Do I pull it?
Yeah, all your schemes fall apart.
No.
You see, this is why women can't take over the world. Okay, that's why you can't be president.
Oh no! Because we can't make people fall.
Yeah, your schemes never. Like all the wheels are broken.
Oh my God, Brian!
All 5 wheels.
Why is everything in your apartment? Look at that slipper.
Yeah, the slipper's missing the toes.
Jesus Christ, Brian! Why
Look,
is everything broken?
I don't know why. I think I'm really rough on the things around me, and I break everything.
Yeah, I think
eventually.
So too.
This chair's only like 2 months old.
Jesus, Brian, what did you do to that chair?
I don't know. I'm just heavy, I think.
So anything that like stays in your apartment will eventually, like people, if you ever have roommates, if they stay in their apartment, they'll like break
smushed.
Yeah.
I get sleepy one day and sit on them and then they die. It happens. It happens a lot.
Oh my God. Actually, I'm trying to think like, if hypothetically speaking, if you were to like fall asleep on top of me, would I be able to escape?
Probably. You're pretty
know
big.
If I could. How dare you? No, I'm just kidding.
How dare you?
No, I actually don't. Well.
So this is an experiment I've carried out with plenty of women, and because I think it's hilarious.
Plenty of women.
Yeah.
Like
especially when I starfish out like that in all directions, because then I'm really hard to roll over. Do you have to pay
these women?
No, but I mean they definitely regret it.
They go home feeling like I wish I hadn't done that.
The thing is, they always seem to squiggle out. You know, they can worm their way out from under me. I'm not quite big enough yet.
Is that a verb?
Squiggle? It is now.
I mean, well, I'm sorry, it is like wait, no, it's an adjective, like a squiggly line.
Squiggly line? Oh yeah, I suppose it is.
How'd
So like the way they move is a squiggle. I said it right. I English.
Good enough.
I'm a fucking teacher.
Have you read? Do you read like manga?
No, I don't. I watch a lot of anime, but I don't read the manga because I'm illiterate. I just look at the pictures.
I went to trivia night like a couple nights ago, and I chose the team name, and our team name was I don't know how to read. So like, and we actually got like last place, so it was really fitting.
How is those trivia nights, or how are those trivia nights?
It was fun. No, it was actually, honestly, I almost didn't want to go because one, I thought I would be dead weight.
I mean, you did do really well, right?
I know.
Your team got last place.
Yeah.
So you
it
weren't
was all
wrong with
thanks to me.
You were the best.
But I actually contributed kind of. One person like really carried the team, and then I did like sort of okay, and the other person was even worse than I was. Like
how many people on the team?
Heavier dead weight, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We all don't know how to read.
Wow. There's a lot of illiterate people in this city.
What are those symbols? Oh wait, oh no, it's in English. I was hoping it'd be in Chinese.
Why would anything be in Chinese in my apartment?
I don't know.
Alright? This apartment is
because
America.
You're really ambitious.
The moment you walk through that fucking door, this is America. Alright?
I'm surprised you don't have a flag.
Yeah, where's my flag?
I wanna like rip a flag. I know you're not allowed to, right? Isn't that
I actually have no idea. I feel like that's a myth that you can't destroy a flag, because I know that the way that you the official way that you dispose of a flag is burning it.
Really?
Yeah, you fold it up in a special way and then you light it on fire.
Huh.
Now, I learned that when I was in like Boy Scouts 20 years ago, so that might not be accurate, but.
I wonder why. What?
Cub Scouts, actually.
Cub Scouts. You didn't even get to Boy Scouts.
Hey, I did Boy Scouts, okay, but not for very long. It was too much responsibility. Alright. I just wanted to shoot guns and blow shit up and play with a knife and.
When you were like 18.
Hey.
20.
Alright. Hey.
I was 16.
Yeah, I have a learning disability, okay? I have the mind of a 6-year-old. It counts.
Oh my god, I should have brought it. My Chinese textbook that I'm working on right now is actually for 6-year-olds.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Does it have pop-ups?
Oh, I wish it did, but it has really cute pictures, and like all the characters in the textbook are little children, and I'm like, I'm one of you.
Well, that's just across China. Like you see, like you're on the metro and there's like a police public announcement, and it's a cartoon with little children. Like there's a little police child talking to like a little citizen child.
It's because only children are everyone in China is actually a child.
I think they're just all trying to be adorable.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that they're trying to fight the adorableness that the Japanese and Korean people have, but they can't fight it. Yeah.
The Korean language is the cutest language.
It's
ever.
Adorable, right?
It's
all like little circles and dots.
Oh, and when people
little
talk,
smiley
I'm
faces.
like, you could be cussing me out right now. I don't even.
I know, right? I think that's my favorite part of not understanding languages, because I can just appreciate them for a noise. You know what I mean? I think like Russian and Japanese are great noises.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to learn the language.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Russian sounds so good.
It does sound good. Well, there's multiple types of Russian. Like there's like the soft Russian that sounds like whispers. Like, I like that Russian. But then there's like the hard Stalin Russian. That's like it's like all consonants.
Honestly, that would do it for me too.
No, that's not. It's too much for me.
I want that to be my ringtone.
I'm sick of what language do you not like?
This is sound really bad.
What?
How many people listen to this podcast?
Like 267 million, but no big deal.
That's not a negligible amount.
Exactly that amount, actually. No, I'm just kidding. Only your family.
Only family. Okay.
Yeah. Only your family.
Oh no. Yeah. Then they'll know. Well, actually, it's okay if they know. I think Vietnamese does not sound good.
You racist!
I think it's oh my god, I'm just like digging myself deeper. I think it's an. Oh no, I can't. I feel rude. I feel so rude. I think it sounds kind of.
She said ugly, everybody. She whispered it, but she said it. We don't have a camera in here, so you just have to take my word for it.
Wait, what website are you using to like put the podcast on?
YouTube, and it's a real pain in the ass because my VPN sucks dick.
Oh wait, does that mean you're also recording video?
No, I'm going to when I get back to the US. I'm gonna upgrade this setup. I should have just committed to the podcast 4 years ago and gotten 2 cameras and 2 microphones and all this shit.
Phone.
But
can't you, right?
Get the fuck out of here.
Isn't how people do?
This shit quality phone. This is the cheapest Huawei they make. Did you know that they even sold a 900 RMB phone? It's like $130 phone.
Oh my! Well, to me that's still expensive. Oh, I guess if you buy it new, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
It's brand new. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I buy new things. Okay, Celine.
And they just degrade really fast.
Yeah, like it's like you buy anything unless it came from a shit bag. But this is 4 years old now. And it's still a piece of shit. But it's exactly as shitty as it was the day I bought it. So that's kind of refreshing.
Good. That's good.
Nice.
Okay, you could write that. That would actually be a good review, wouldn't it?
Sort of. I don't know if they'd use it. Yeah.
Like at least it didn't degrade as fast as everything else like that.
But at a certain point, I think they want me to buy a new phone. If I just say I'll use this phone until the day I die, and then they're like, well, we only got 900 RMB out of them.
They come over here and break your phone.
Yeah. Oh, let me see that. Oh, fuck this phone. Oh, sorry, man, I dropped it.
But you should get a new one.
Yeah.
What's the excuse?
Another 900 RMB one.
Are those boxing gloves?
They are.
How much would someone have to pay you to let them punch you in the face with that boxing glove?
With that boxing glove right there?
How much money?
It depends who's punching me in the face. 100%.
Okay, a child.
A child? Not a lot of money.
Okay, like 5 RMB.
No, way more than that.
What? Okay.
5 RMB is literally nothing.
A 25-year-old woman.
So you?
Who works out semi-regularly.
To punch me in the face with a boxing glove on? I don't know.
I just flexed because you can't see because we don't have a video, so I have to explain what I'm doing. I'm flexing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's freakishly large. Yes. She's a giant.
Yeah, I actually am taking up most of this room.
Yeah. She has a gang tattoo up her left arm. She has a sleeve.
Yes, actually.
Yeah. It's flowers. There's a petal for every person she's killed.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get punched in the face. I don't like offers like that.
But how much would someone have to pay you? Because you definitely have a price. I have a price.
Yeah. From you, a punch from you?
Yeah.
Probably like $150. I get punched in the face.
How much do I want?
How much would you take to get punched in the face?
I would be scared of losing a tooth.
Well, with a glove you wouldn't. You'd get knocked out though.
Really? But you definitely wouldn't lose a tooth?
No, not with a glove.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, as long as you have your mouth closed and as long as I don't hit you.
Okay. Assume I have a mouth guard. Honestly, not that much, I think.
Not that much.
Like the
have you
price
ever been
should be
punched in the
higher.
face?
Yes, I have. It was not fun.
Like, by who? Like when you were 4 years old? By your 5-year-old sister?
No,
or
I was like 11 and it was...
a cage fighter?
Yeah. My mom was like trying to make quick cash. No, it was like this other...
She's like, I can have more daughters. Get the fuck in there.
Yeah, children are expendable. You just make new ones.
You just have new ones, yeah. See, that's why you have to have 5 wives. Right? So you can come out... Actually, 9. Then you can have one every month.
We don't call them wives, Brian. We call them concubines.
Yeah, brood mothers. Where's my spawn, woman? I think I would only have kids if I could be like a frog. Have like 1,000 kids at once.
Oh my god.
And then ignore all of them.
Yeah. And half of them get eaten.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
But you eat some of them too.
Well, I'm hungry, so What, am I supposed to pay for all of them?
Have you ever had...
Child?
No. That too, though. I'm actually curious now. There are a couple little Brians running around in the world.
God, I hope not. Oh, if there are, I hope they don't find me.
They destroy everything. No, that made me think about hamsters and how like sometimes if the mother hamster feels, I think it's if she feels threatened or if she doesn't have or if she's feeling weak, she'll like eat her babies.
That's a great defense mechanism. That makes sense.
She gets nutrition.
Yeah, that's why there's such a successful species.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, what was that noise? I should kill my children.
Yeah, and they're so cute. They're so cute.
Not so cute anymore.
I think they were actually discovered in. Oh wait, I forgot. They were discovered in like a desert somewhere, and like the researchers who found them were like, I just want to take them with me because they're so cute. Because they're so cute. Yeah. But they're so vicious. They're territorial. They'll like if you put 2 hamsters who didn't grow up together in the same like right next to each other, they'll try to kill each other.
So you're saying I can organize hamster fights?
Of course. And they're actually really brutal too. One time we accidentally did that because we
accidentally, sure.
Me and my sister.
So what you're saying is you can organize these hamster fights for me.
We were such dumb children. We put like one of the hamsters in this big bucket to like watch it run around, and then without thinking, one of us put another hamster. Oh, that's the word. No, one of us put another hamster in, and they fought, and then one of them like slit the stomach open of the other.
With like a knife. Yeah, damn motherfucker.
They were like sharpening the bark chips in their cage.
So you were a sociopath, is what you're saying.
I kind of was, honestly. Like, I would catch flies, and then I'd rip their wings off because I didn't want them to fly away.
Without a doubt.
How many people are going to listen to this? I'm sorry. Because I don't want people to know my darkest history.
Because there's no way you would treat a human being like that fly, right? I don't want you to leave, so I'm going to cut your toes off so you can't walk.
No, break the legs.
Break their legs?
Break their ankles, actually.
Break their ankles?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they can't do things.
That's okay.
Yeah, then they're like...
then they'll rely on me more, and I can take care of
What's that movie where the girl kidnaps the author and breaks his legs?
Oh, I don't know.
Misery, I think? Or something like that?
That sounds terrible.
You never heard of it?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
It'd be right up your alley.
We do not share the same
That's like story of your life right there.
I know. Everyone who's ever like been with me, I like make sure they say. I have like a mountain of corpses in my room.
So back to video games.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So why don't you play any good games?
I play so many good games.
Like what?
What Remains of Edith Finch.
What?
It's okay. It's actually not very.
Is that
well.
like a story
Have
game?
Have you played Gone Home? It's like Gone Home. Okay, no, it's so good.
Is that one of those? Is that one of those anime?
No.
Anime girls.
I actually never play those.
Are those dating sims?
Those dating sims. I actually don't really like dating sims. I find them.
What's the name of the game? What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
What Remains of Edith. What did you say?
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
What Remains of Edith Finch?
Edith Finch? What remains of her?
She
Not
dies.
that much anymore. You ate her.
Like a headstone. Oh, that too. It's such a good game though. It's
Okay, tell me about it.
Okay, it's a narrative.
Sell it.
It's an okay. It's a narrative.
It sounds awful already.
It's a narrative. Story-driven game. Well, it's a story-driven game where you play Edith Finch and you're exploring the history behind your family. Can I spoil it?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Spoilers.
You basically watch how each family member died from either their perspective or someone else's perspective. No, it's always from their perspective, I think. And sometimes the deaths are really like, and all the death scenes are different, and all the controls are different in each death scene. For example, in one death scene, you control someone who's controlling a kite, and you control the kite. In another death scene, you're on a swing and you're controlling the person as they're swinging.
Is it like a serious game, or like
yes.
when the person dies on the swing, how do they die? Like the tree falls on them?
No, they. This is so dumb. Their swing is right next to a cliff and they fall off the cliff. They like fly off the swing. And
so how is that serious? You saying you didn't laugh at that scene? You didn't laugh?
I didn't laugh at that scene.
I bet you thought that was hilarious.
But I did think, like, why would anyone build a swing right next to a cliff? That's so dumb.
Yeah, well.
I didn't realize people.
What about the person flying the kite? How'd they die?
They are flying a kite during a storm, and the storm, like, they get, like, crushed by some of the debris that the storm is blowing.
They're flying a kite in a tornado?
No.
Where?
I guess.
Crushed by what debris?
I don't. The video game.
This game sounds awful.
No, it's amazing. This video game is a lot of the death scenes are really abstract. Most of them don't actually show how the person died. Or they show like an interpretation of how the person died. And in this in the kite death scene, the kite starts picking up debris. It's supposed to like symbolize the storm that's picking up debris. It's hard to explain when you're not playing it, Brian. Don't look at me like that. But it's such an amazing game, and I love it, and everyone should play it.
Oh God, it sounds so good.
And the developers put a lot of hard work into it, and they're really nice. They responded to one of my emails.
Aww.
And now I love
like, thank
them.
you for being the only one who plays that game.
No, I love it. I love it. It's actually a very good game. Like it's one of those games that it's kind of weird and abstract. But afterwards, you feel like you just like got hit by a lot of. You just experienced a lot. It's like when you read a really good book. That's how it feels. After like you get immersed in the universe and you come out and you're like, oh my God, it's done. It's done. What do I do now? Like everything here is still the same, even though I just came out of this incredible experience. I swear to God, it's good. I feel like I have to defend it now.
I don't have experiences like that in games. When I play games, it's always like to do some objective. I don't think I play any story games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you play RPGs?
I do. I've played a lot of RPGs, but I never like get into the story. I usually just go and kill everybody.
What? Really? So you never, even when you were young, you never really got into the story or the universe or anything?
Not really. Maybe I do like a little bit of role playing like in my own head. But it would always just be to justify what I'm already doing.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
So like,
do you not have
like
an
in Fallout.
Did you not have a childhood, Brian?
First of all right. I own pooping bags. All right. So I don't know what your childhood was like, but I grew up in a home.
I might have grown up like in a trash can. What were you saying? Gone.
So,
Fallout.
Like Fallout, for example, I just go from city to city, killing every single person in the city.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah, and then loot everything in that city, go to the next city, sell it all, and then kill everyone there.
That makes sense.
And then eventually, I do the same thing in Skyrim and Oblivion and everything.
Wait, so you never get attached to the characters or anything?
Not really. If anything, like
no soul.
Maybe some characters upset me more than other ones, and so like I'll enjoy killing them.
Brian.
But
actually, I get it though.
But like attachment, nah, not really.
What? I don't
have feelings.
I don't always play games for the story. I'm not a person. I don't always play games for the story. Like, for example, Overwatch, I definitely don't play that for the story. But I have like two types of games. Some games are just cathartic because my mind shuts off. Like Overwatch, and I just shoot things and kill things and I feel good. But other games, like What Remains of Edith Finch, everyone should play it. They're paying me to say this.
Naturally. They're paying you serious money.
I get super into them. Like, I cry during when I play.
Totally appropriate, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she fell off the cliff. I couldn't have seen that coming. Oh.
What? Yeah. Yeah, actually, I even remember. Did you ever play Kingdom Hearts?
I didn't. Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy are two games that I never played. That everyone's always like, "What? You never played the game?
Honestly,
the game's so fucking good."
Exactly.
Yeah, they make that exact.
That's how they talk.
Everyone does. Yeah.
Honestly, like I really liked that game growing up, but the combat's fun. I think the dialogue is super hokey. It's so hokey, and also the story is super convoluted. But when I as a kid, I loved it because I didn't care that everything was ridiculous.
Okay.
And I cried like all the time when I played the game. The music would make me cry. I would just like I'd hear the theme music and start be like, oh my heart.
Girls.
No.
Always leaking.
From so many orifices.
Jesus. See, that's why
that's a real problem.
That's why you can't be president. Right?
We leak too much.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna write that on my resume. Maybe that'll get me a job.
Leaky.
Like there's a puddle right here. Oh man. Oh, no, wait. So what games did you play growing up?
Growing up, I played like N64 games and PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay. We had a PS1 too.
So like, old school Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh,
played like Mario Kart, Mario Worlds, Mario, all that. I know.
Just kidding.
I know. How fucking casual.
Standard.
But then at some point, my parents got a computer, and I started playing like Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3. And then World of Warcraft.
I have a question. Yeah. What did you ever feel like ashamed about like liking video games as a hobby?
No, I didn't. But I think I didn't because I know, right? Fucking Pringles. Just a little offshoot here. At what age was your hand too big to fit in a Pringles box?
It still fits, I think. But can I try?
It's one of the most upsetting things about being an adult for me.
Wait. Oh yeah, because your hands are giant. You are too big. See.
It's depressing.
You should feel bad about being big because you consume more resources.
Yeah, but I don't because I'm higher on the food chain, and so when the food runs out, I'll just kill you and eat you.
Oh no.
All right. Anyway, that's called the circle of life. All right. If you had a childhood and watched fucking Simba and the Lion King, you'd know that. Anyway, I never felt ashamed about it because it was never my whole life.
I got you.
And I didn't really.
Oh, you had friends?
Who? What?
What is that?
Watch out.
I'm so
This
chair is making me so nervous.
You should be nervous.
I shifted, and
it's
then
probably the most reliable one of the wooden chairs. There used to be 4, now there's only 3. But it's not reliable.
Oh God.
Anyway, they've all been repaired multiple times. So it's probably okay. I also noticed the things that my friends were doing, like outside of video games, and none of them seemed any more or less important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I had lots of friends who were athletes, and that never seemed like it mattered.
Yeah.
You know, not only did I not care about the sports themselves, like I don't give a shit what happens with the ball. I don't care where it is or where it's going or who has it or in what way you use it to win. I don't care. But it just never seemed like a good idea to like base your identity off of what you're doing with your time.
I agree.
And so I figured if I'm gonna waste my time, I'm gonna do something that I enjoy. So I played video games and did a lot of drugs.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
At like the age of 7, you know.
Hey, okay. 8. All right. Good church boy.
Yeah, I never felt ashamed either. I know some people who like got bullied for it or whatever, but I don't know. I was such a weird, quiet kid. I had no friends, so it didn't really matter if I played video games or not. But I remember being surprised when they got really popular, when people were suddenly like all about them, and like suddenly almost every person my age would be like, oh yeah, I play video games. And I was
it was like, very sudden, wasn't it?
Yeah. It felt like that. Maybe it did. Maybe like everyone in my generation like all played it as a kid, and when they grew up they started talking about it. I don't really know.
I think it did kind of become more mainstream as we grew up.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's because video games became more diverse. Like there's kind of a game that caters. Even like there are games for people who don't like
mobile games, which I think are a total waste of time, but a lot of people play that shit, fucking filthy casuals.
You actually have a ton of mobile games on your phone.
Yeah, fucking love Clash of Clans and Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Did you get bullied for it?
No, I didn't get...
Did you get bullied at all?
I did a little bit, but like I never was. I moved around a lot, so I was never out of school like long enough for it to continue. It was never like.
What's your name, Celine? Okay, goodbye.
But it was never like people would put my head in the toilet or anything like that. It was stuff.
I've never seen anyone do that in my entire life. That's called a swirly. Do people actually swirly people?
Maybe that happened like 20 years before us.
Yeah.
But nothing like that. But it was stuff like. Some of it was super subtle. Like there was these 2 girls who said they were my friends, but they're actually really mean to me.
That sounds subtle, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey friends, how you doing? Fuck you, Celine. Oh, Cindy, you're always saying stuff like that. I mean it. Leave me alone. You don't even go to this school. You're 26 years old.
No, they would do, but it was weird, like, because sometimes they'd be so nice to me, but then they'd suddenly do something mean. Like, they would, like, they would be like, walk with us to class, and I was like, yeah, I have no friends, take me with you. But then they'd do things like step on my binder, like see my binder on the ground and just, like, step on it. Like, it was weird, and I was always like, wait, that seems like a mean thing to do, but you're my friend. I'm confused. I'm 11.
Why weren't you a smarter 11-year-old? I mean, that's obviously the answer to this. Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Nothing, because you have nothing.
No, you reminded me of something when you were saying you're walking to school with them.
Oh, they would like.
I can't remember. But to get back to the swirlies, the only like traditional bullying thing I ever saw I saw a guy get picked up and put in a trash can.
But was it as a joke? Was it like friends being dumb, or was it actually like?
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
But he just got out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he was like trapped. You know, I didn't see anyone get swirlies or get stuffed in a lockers or.
I saw they get beat up though.
Oh yeah, lots of fighting, but fighting's just fighting. That's what I was gonna say. I think that we need to see. I think in our society, more. Violence between women, okay?
Why?
At a young age, because I think that would forge better relationships between girls.
I'm gonna punch you in the face so we can be better friends.
Well, I grew up my whole life listening to my sister complain about how girls don't ever have close relationships.
What? No.
Because like it's like there's like subtle catty bullshit going on.
I see what you're saying.
And I always felt like that shit doesn't exist between men because we can just bring it to a violent conclusion and settle any problems that are going on.
Interesting. Maybe my friends are.
We can catalyze the climax to the dispute very easily.
Sorry.
You like that word?
Yeah. No, people always say that women are catty. And I'm sure many women and men are both catty and petty.
Anyway, sorry.
But I've been really lucky in that my current female friends, the majority of them I actually feel very close to, and I consider to be close friends. And like, I'm not saying cattiness doesn't exist. I'm trying to think, but the thing is, I'm not just saying this to be like men and women are all the same.
Which is total bullshit.
I've seen many men be catty as well. And I'm thinking, like, among my male and female friends, I think the cattiness exists. I kind of see what you're saying with, like, the fighting, though, but when I've had disagreements with my female friends, we usually just, like, talk about it and then sort it out.
Does that actually work, though?
Yeah.
Do you still hate her afterwards?
No.
Are you lying to her? Is she
This is
listening
all
to the
rules.
podcast?
I actually have no friends.
I actually just argue with myself in the mirror.
Yeah. It's all me. No. But then again, I think a lot of my friends, I've been like lucky enough to have friends that I think are exceptionally direct. Mm-hmm. I have some friends that I think are so honest that other people usually don't like them because of that.
Yeah, I get that a lot. People get upset when you speak really honestly to them.
I wish I had that trait. I think I'm pretty honest, but I think I'm more honest than the average person, but not that honest. Like, I still, for example, if you were to, well, maybe not you, I'd probably be honest with you, but like some people I'll be like, that looks really good, even though if it doesn't. You picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah, I'm like, does this hat look good on me?
Looks like shit.
Yeah, you're like, fucking dickhead. Yeah, I like remembering my childhood. All my best friends, we usually became really good friends after a fight.
What?
Especially if they were a stranger beforehand. Like, I'm talking about when I was like 10 years old, 11, 12, 13, like middle school, you know. There would be a big fight, and then you'd get to know the guy.
That's so interesting. Huh.
But I also went to a really small school, and it was a school full of freaks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As I get older and older,
so much.
So I went to a school for disabled kids.
That's all explained. Yeah.
Explains a lot, right? Yeah. And so there was a lot of real freaky people there, but it was a really small school, and so like you were forced to kind of know everybody. It's like 150 kids in the school, in the whole school, from like grade 5 to grade 8, or 4 to 8 maybe.
Yeah.
So really small, and so you have to know everybody. But maybe it was because of the disabilities. I don't know why, but there's an extraordinary level of violence in this school. But it was never malicious. It was super friendly, but everyone just loved to fight. Never malicious. Everyone just loved to fight everybody.
That's so interesting. What? Huh.
And the administrators had a policy that was it was very difficult to actually get expelled from the school, like almost impossible.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult to get a legitimate suspension, where they would like call your house and like not allow you to come to school and stuff.
Yeah.
And so what they would do is in-school suspension is what they called it. And so you would just, if you got in a fight, you'd get like a couple of days of in-school suspension where you get off the bus in the morning, you go straight to the principal's office, and then you just copy a dictionary all day until you go home.
Yeah.
Classic.
That is a crappy punishment.
But we usually wouldn't do it.
What? And no one would check.
Well, no. Here's the thing, because like since it was such a small school, the teachers had to fill so many different roles. And so like the vice principal whose office you would go to do the in-school suspension was also the coach of all the sports teams, and he was also a history teacher and all these other things. Oh my god. And so what ends up happening is like you and the kids that were also fighting are in the office, and you end up just shooting the shit with them for the whole day.
I see. Yeah. That makes sense.
You do like a little bit of work, and you talk to them for like an hour, and then you go, stop fucking talking to me, do your work. And it goes back and forth.
Oh, so you did have friends.
we were all trapped in the same room. Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah.
Not friends by choice, friends by proximity.
Proxy friends, good enough.
Actually, okay, do you feel this way? So, since I've been in China, I feel like I have a decent amount of friends here. But sometimes I feel like the friends I make abroad sometimes really do feel like friends by proximity. Like, I don't know if I'd actually want to be friends with them or hang out with them on a regular basis if I didn't live in China. Yeah,
there is something weird about the China friends, because there's a large group of foreigners here who they exclusively keep people at arm's length, because people are constantly coming and going here, and the chances of us ever seeing each other again are extremely low.
I see.
And so I think that a lot of people here don't have the mindset that they're making lasting relationships. And so that can have people act a little awkward or a little weird sometimes, I think, or a little short-sighted maybe.
That makes sense.
But what was your question?
If you feel like you have friends that if you have friends in China that
I would be friends with back home,
that you wouldn't be friends with back home, or you don't think you would be.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Me.
Fucking freak.
No, everyone. Yeah.
But there's also certainly people here that I've become friends with that I would be friends with back home.
Yeah, same. Oh, definitely.
But it's often the case, I think, that they live such a different life that if we were both back in America, or if they were in their country and I was in America and we somehow were in the same city or something, our lives are such that they would never intersect.
Yeah.
We would never cross paths in normal life.
Yeah, I think my life in China is different. Of course, different than my life in the U.S. But I mean also in the terms of like what I spend my time doing. Because in the U.S. I like
just shitting in bags and stabbing people, smoking crack.
All of the above.
Yeah.
I don't actually go out that much. I go out for like a bar maybe once every couple months or maybe once a month. And because most of my friends don't drink that much, and what I actually do is I go to like board game meetups. I love board games.
Yeah, board games are pretty sweet.
I would have sex with a board game.
You can just put a dildo on a board game.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's really weird because I'm like the friends that I make through board games feel very different from the friends that I make through drinking. Like the friends I've made in China. Yeah. Which I've most of them I've met at like a bar somewhere.
Yeah. I'm trying to phase out drinking in my life.
Yeah.
I've never been a big drinker. Most of the people in my family are, and my family is is pretty hard drinking culture.
Oh, I see.
But it's always just been so boring to me. I don't judge people for drinking. It's just not my substance of choice, and it doesn't it doesn't meet the cost benefit analysis for me.
It also tastes really bad. Okay, I know everyone who's listening to me like you're freaking wrong, but
you Philistine, you don't appreciate it.
But for me at least.
Okay, so I'm going to agree with you here. I'm going to say that in relation to other alcohol, there is some alcohol that tastes good, but it doesn't taste good like chocolate milk tastes good. You know, it doesn't taste good like fucking juice. Orange juice. What juice do you drink?
I love juice. I would drink any juice. My favorite juice is probably mango juice.
Mango juice.
Mango juice is so good.
You think you're special because you drink exotic mango juice, huh?
Mangoes are exotic.
You probably. Hey, I'm from New Jersey, okay? We don't have fucking trees or mangoes or.
I love mango. I love apple. No, wait. Mango, grape, then apple. Probably top 3.
Okay. I like apple juice because I'm allergic to apples, so I can't eat apples. And so I like to drink a little apple juice every now and then.
Just to like
to get the
torture
taste.
yourself? Oh,
Yeah.
to hurt yourself every now and then.
No, the apple juice doesn't cook. It has to be like, once it's cooked or some bullshit.
Oh, I see.
So like I can eat apple pie, for example.
I see. Oh, I didn't know that.
I've had a rough relationship with apples in my life,
Because they taste good?
No, I used to love apples, and then I used to not be allergic to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got braces,
yeah.
and I couldn't eat apples because, it'll break the braces.
Yeah.
And after like a year and a half of braces, I could eat apples again for about 1 year, and then I became allergic to them.
You got 1 good year.
Yeah, bullshit.
Oh my god. Oh man, I would be so sad if I developed an allergy to like any of the foods that I like. I knew a guy who, after he turned 18 or something, he developed allergies against soy, dairy, and cane sugar. So he could eat basically nothing.
Yeah, he's fucked.
Oh, and eggs. And eggs.
He's fucked.
Yeah, he was like, he could eat like nothing, and people would offer him stuff all the time.
You know what I'd start doing if I was that guy?
Huh.
Heroin.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then he was allergic to heroin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, have you played? Wait, actually, what games do you play now?
I haven't played much in a while. I've been making so since this is only audio, I put gaming footage in the background.
Oh, nice.
And so I've been recording a lot of GTA for the backgrounds of these.
Oh my god.
So I just drive around and run people over and stuff like that, drive off cliffs and whatnot.
The first time I played GTA, I was like, I'm gonna try and follow all the laws. So I was like an upstanding citizen, and then I got hit by a car and I died.
That's what you get.
GTA is really fun.
You either drive the car or you get hit by it.
Oh, GTA is good. Yeah. I think it's also, I don't even know if it was like meant to be a game where you wreak havoc. I only played a couple of them, and I've never like completed a GTA game.
I've never completed them either. I just want to drive around and shoot people and get chased by the cops.
Yeah.
I feel like it could just be a drive around and get chased by the cops simulator.
Yeah.
And it would be the greatest one ever made.
Yep. But honestly, I get kind of like bored after a bit. Like I remember the first time I played, I was like, oh okay, that's it, and then I was like, okay, I'm good, I'm done. Had my fill.
I like to get on for about 45 minutes, drive around, and I'm good for a while.
It fulfills that urge for now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I actually, this is really bad. I have such like a horrible guilt streak that I can't even like break rules in a game.
Guilty for what?
For like if I hit someone.
Original sin. Christ is watching.
I was raised Catholic. No, I wasn't. I should be Catholic though, because I always feel guilty even for things I shouldn't feel guilty for. Because like in a video game, nothing matters. This will in no way ever affect your real life. But even in a video game, I'll feel guilty for the things that I'm doing to other people.
You should. I spoke to God yesterday. He said it's all your fault.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything that's ever happened.
Yeah. When he said it, he meant everything.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. Like I can't even. Oh, did you play Mass Effect?
I didn't. So I had a weird relationship with Mass Effect because my roommate in college, my first roommate, he would play Mass Effect, and so like he had a giant flat screen in the room. I got real lucky. I got a good roommate with lots of technology.
And dip.
Yeah, I didn't dip. Again, tobacco's. I'm jealous of other people's addictions. I wish I could, drink coffee. I wish I could eat shellfish and things like this.
Are you allergic to that?
I'm allergic to shellfish.
Oh my gosh! But coffee?
Coffee, I just think it tastes like shit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I like coffee. I like coffee that doesn't taste like coffee.
It's just dirty water.
Yeah.
And people are like, put milk in it. I'm like, okay, that's just dirty milk. I love milk. I'm not going to ruin my milk.
Yeah, exactly.
By putting coffee in it.
When I drink alcohol, like mixed drinks, I always think I could have this without the alcohol and it would taste better than this.
Definitely, 100%. Coca-Cola by itself, have you ever had it? It's fucking great.
I actually...
You know how you really fuck it up? Put rum or whiskey in it.
I actually don't like Coca-Cola. I think it's because I didn't grow up drinking soda, but drinking Coca-Cola like hurts my throat.
The bubbliness, right?
The carbon dioxide like burns. I'll be like, this hurts.
I think everyone feels that, but they just continue going. That hurts so good. Oh god.
It's also way too sweet for me.
I did grow up drinking soda, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm so fucking unhealthy.
Yeah.
I got bad teeth and shit.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. All that soda.
I have like receding gums. The dentist was like, "Do you smoke?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Okay, it's probably
You're like, only crack."
Everything but cigarettes. Oh, but what I was saying in Mass Effect though was like, in Mass Effect you can choose to be you can they call it Paragon and Renegade. Essentially, like if you choose decisions that are positive, that benefit people, that are considered like good decisions, more morally good decisions. And I always do Paragon. And one time I accidentally hit the Renegade option. I felt bad. I was like, I feel like a dick. But the second thing is in Mass Effect.
What happened when you hit that button? Did like 100 children burn to death?
I forgot. I think I just shot someone.
In the dick?
No. Oh no, I shot something and then someone caught on fire. But
you should feel bad about that.
I
bet that hurt a lot.
It was amazing. It gave me such a rush. But when I chose the Paragon for the first game, there's this guy you can romance. And I chose all the Paragon options for him. I was just like nice to him. And what happens is you get together with him if you're nice to him. You have to be mean to him to not get together with him. So I was like, crap, oops, I didn't mean to, but this is what happened.
Time to fuck.
Sorry?
don't you fuck everyone in Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Because that's what I always heard about it. And I kind of like watched it in my dorm room over the course of a year. We played the first and second one all the way through. And it was like an interactive movie. And 20% of the time I look up and he's like, I'm about to fuck this lizard. I'm like, man.
But you never get to see anything.
Yeah. Again, I'm like, man, I need to see full penetration. Otherwise, you're wasting my time here. I need to go back to my work.
Oh my god, there's this one character in Mass Effect called, I think her name's Tali. And she's from a planet that's very like, it's not even a planet, she's from like she lives on like a ship. Everything's really sterile, so she's not immune to a lot of germs. So in order to like do stuff with you, in order to like have sex with you or whatever, she has to like take a bunch of antibiotics before, and then afterwards she like gets really sick and has like a fever. That's like dedication. Like imagine if you were like, if the person that you were going to have sex with was going to like physically hurt afterwards. Like you're gonna get a fever and then throw up, and then maybe like I don't know, and then maybe die. Oh, I guess actually having sex with someone with like a really bad STI, or not. When I say bad, I mean like life could end your life STI, like HIV, maybe like that.
But I actually don't know anything about HIV.
Oh really?
Is there any like outward signs of it?
No.
It's not as scary, you know.
So
like everyone's afraid of being eaten by a shark, but you're way more likely to just like choke on your dinner. But like sharks are just so scary, so everyone's afraid of sharks.
I mean, HIV can lead to death because
of course.
Yeah,
but lots of things can lead to death. You know,
well,
I'm leaning back in a broken chair right now. I could die at any moment.
That's true.
You know, we're in a building in China. It could collapse right on top of us.
So have unprotected sex with people of HIV. I mean, a condom.
That's the lesson you learned from that. Jesus.
Using a condom, but I feel like I should inform everyone because I'm doing research on sex education.
Yeah.
Anyone who's listening, having sex with someone who has HIV, if you use a condom, you're perfectly fine and safe. If you use a condom correctly.
Yeah.
And also
correctly, who does that?
And also, just because you have HIV doesn't mean you can't live a fulfilling life. I feel like I have to clarify, this is
with all these disclaimers all of a sudden.
I'm gonna publish a research article about sex education, and someone's gonna find this podcast and be like, listen to this dick.
Tell us about your research. What have you learned so far? If you were to educate the masses, imagine the youngins were listening to this podcast. How would you educate them?
Wait, about sex education or about?
I don't know. Whatever the fuck you're studying.
Oh, so I'm studying sex education, but in reference to in China. So like some fun facts. I read a research article that said the average age that people start having, they call it sexual behaviors.
What does that mean?
I think it essentially just like penile vaginal sex. I think.
Okay. Penetration. Yeah. Should always say that slowly and ominously.
Yeah.
Penetration. Right. You sound like you have a partial gag. That's not the safe word.
The average age is 20. Oh, I forgot it. 22.6 or something like that for people in China.
Are you just guessing on that 0.6?
Yeah, I think it is 22.6.
I forgot the number, but I think it's exactly 22.614.
For men, it's like 21 something, and for women, it's like 23 something.
In China?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which surprised me. I was like, that's really old.
That's younger than I thought.
Really?
I teach 20-year-olds. They have the social maturity of like a 10-year-old.
Oh, snap.
And so they don't strike me as people who are sexually active.
Huh. they're actually secretly having orgies.
They don't strike me as people who are active at all.
Is it that surprising because they're university students?
They're lazy as fuck.
Maybe they like had to work really hard, and then after they got to university, they're like, I'm done.
That's exactly what it is.
Like,
if you ask them, they'd say that straight up. They're like, I already took my Gaokao, so I'm done now.
Honestly, I get it though. Like if I had to study as much as like a Chinese senior middle school student, I would.
Yeah, but I just wouldn't. if I was a Chinese student in like let's say going into high school, that's when they start studying terrible amount of hours. I just wouldn't. I would just refuse.
I think I would because I am like so afraid of punishment and like people getting mad at me. That's essentially why I got good grades in school because I didn't want my teachers to get mad at me. So I was like, I'll do all my work and be a good girl. I had some bad teachers, and I remember one teacher were like, we'd ask a question and they'd answer a completely different question, and and a lot of the questions were like really good, and I was like sometimes someone
or answer a question with a question.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm always like, no, like I literally just need this little bit of information, and then I'll understand this next bit.
Mm-hmm. Let me make something clear. I'm not a good teacher.
Really?
Okay? Yeah. I'm not a good teacher.
I can't even, I'm trying to imagine you as a teacher.
It's because this is the reason that I teach university as well. It's because I don't care. Okay?
Brian, you're great.
And the problem with teaching kids is that you have to care. That's your job.
Yeah.
Your job isn't to actually make them better at some subject. Your job is to be a dancing clown. Like, hey, look at me. Hey, look at me.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe 1 minute out of the 45-minute class, you actually cover some subject.
Yeah. Oh, God, I hate teaching kids.
But with adults, they're paying to be here, and so I get to sidestep that whole responsibility.
Uh-huh.
And I always say that in the very first day of class.
Yeah.
I tell them, look, I don't give a shit if you learn anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm here as a resource. The school has already paid me, and so I'm gonna be here for class most days. And I'm gonna give you my WeChat. And anytime you want to improve your English, you can go as far out of your way as you like, and I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
You know,
That's great.
You can talk to me every single day if you want to on WeChat, and I'll respond.
That doesn't sound like a bad teacher.
No, but none of them do.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember you mentioned before.
Yeah.
I don't.
And so I like a position where I can put the responsibility on improving themselves onto them.
Me too.
And then as far as they want to take that, we can go as far as they want to go.
Yes, I completely agree. Like I sometimes teach like little kids, and I think the thing that sucks the most is a lot of the kids don't want to be there, and they genuinely don't care about the subject, and I can't blame them for that because I remember.
Of course not. Yeah. I remember not caring.
Same. I remember like learning about things where I was like, I really don't care about anything you're saying, and like in their eyes, they don't see the point in learning about this, and for some of them, it's completely irrelevant. It's going to be irrelevant to what they do in the future. So I can't blame them, but it's so hard to teach someone who doesn't want to be there. Yeah.
Dude, this is tough. So I could never imagine teaching something like math or chemistry to like high school kids or middle school for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And so when you're that kid in like a chemistry class in middle school, it's almost like even if you can't articulate this, you sort of know at a deep level, you're like, why are you here trying to tell us this? You know we don't care.
Yeah.
And you know there's nothing you can say to make us care. And you know that we almost certainly won't use this information. So stop wasting my time. Stop wasting your own time.
Yeah, I can't.
Quit your job and kill yourself.
We hate you. No, and I really do remember when I was younger, and for a really, really long time, I had no interest in learning about any of the things that I was taught in school. I don't think it was until like either my last year of high school or like my first year of college where I was like, I actually care. But then I had to learn how to study, and I was like, oh no, I don't know how to do things.
Thankfully, I went into an art degree, so I didn't have to learn how to study.
There you go.
Yeah. But I feel like I've taught myself almost everything I know.
I mean,
University of Google, YouTube.
Yeah, and that makes sense because it sounds like for you, it's like you only are interested in learning about things that you actually care about. So you're gonna go to Grid to like try to learn about these things, and I think that makes sense. That reminds me. There's this, I forgot what it's called. There's like a type of this like new way of teaching children. I think it's being done in some Scandinavian country. I can never remember. Of course. Yeah, of course. It's always Scandinavian. Where they do learning based on what's it called? It's called, I forgot. Basically, if the student is interested in this one thing, you teach them about this one thing, and then everything that's like tangentially related to it, and then they develop knowledge about like these things that they care about.
Like branching teaching method.
Is that what it's called? It's probably that, honestly. There we go.
Cambridge. I don't know.
Good enough.
Yeah, I've always felt like until you get to college, you should just be studying whatever you want to study. Maybe in high school there should be some required history and
reading
and English classes. You know, no matter what country you're in, it should be English classes. But other than that, fuck everything else. Yeah. Mathematics to a child, fucking meaningless. As long as you can add and subtract, and even then, all of us have a calculator in our pocket, and that's not going to go away. In fact, it's going to become more integrated. So.
Yeah,
There's no value to memorization anymore.
Oh God. Okay, I really don't like in China, a lot of like teachers and parents will have their students do something called like bei. It means like to recite, basically like memorize something and repeat it.
Yeah, like rote memory.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is terrible.
It is.
I think it's only useful with like really short stuff, but people will have like little Chinese like students memorize paragraphs of like dialogue, and I'm just like, no, like I think
they'll memorize entire exams if they have a chance.
That's wild. To me, that's like insane. What?
Not only is it not only is it crazy and it's like sort of not human, it feels inhuman to just be like memorizing something and not actually learning it. But what they're doing is they're training Chinese children to be like robots. Well, guess what? We have robots. We don't need human robots. And it's like they're training them to be redundant. Yeah,
I guess like I think it's also not, how do I say this? It's a lazy way of teaching.
Definitely.
Like I think
I'm a lazy teacher, so I know.
I think it's a good way to like improve memory, but like if
I disagree.
If really,
can you improve memory?
Yeah,
can you actually improve memory?
Yeah, I totally think you can. Well, actually, I'm not an expert on this, but
or do you just memorize the thing you're studying?
But that would be like memorizing things. Okay, I guess when I think of improving memory. Actually, yeah, no, is that... Okay, I don't know anything about this topic.
Yeah, I don't know either. This requires some Google searching.
Yeah.
Maybe
Alexa...
you can.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think it's lazy. I think like for a lot of people, they're like, oh, they must learn because they'll memorize it. But just because you memorize something doesn't mean you can actually do it. Like I do Chinese flashcards, but I will like... I don't always know how to use the word, even if I know the word. Oh, what time is it?
Yeah, about 30 minutes, I think.
Actually 15-ish.
15. Same thing.
Yeah, oops, sorry.
Piece of shit.
This podcast is falling apart.
God.
That's the goal. That's why I came here. I was like, I'm going to ruin everything.
Sabotage. Pure sabotage. That's why you're here.
That's what I always do.
Anyway, so what's the goal of your research? Is to find out what the level of sex education is in China?
Pretty much. So I guess my main research questions are, what are the outcome differences between students who have received sex education and those who haven't, and also and when I say outcome differences, I mean like the percentage like of the times they have sex, this is how likely they are to use a condom, and also like how in their like understanding of like STIs and I'm also interested in like what teachers, guardians think about sex education, like what age do they think it should start, what do they think should be included. So yeah, it's very, very exciting. Yes.
So have you found anything incredible in China yet? Anything crazy?
Let me think.
I would assume that most of their policies are pretty draconian.
So there actually is a policy that requires Chinese schools to have a class related to of topics like anatomy, puberty, but a lot of schools.
This is a penis. This is a vagina. Yeah.
A lot of schools just either don't have a class like that, or they have like a really crappy version of it, and oftentimes the teacher doesn't want to teach it, so they'll just be like, you self-study.
If you have sex, you will get AIDS and you will die.
Yeah, scare tactics. That's super common, especially in the US too. That's really common. Wait, did you have sex ed growing up?
Yeah.
What was it like? Was it good or bad?
It was emotionless information.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, penis, vagina, this is how it happens. Any questions? Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Did they talk about like STIs or like condoms or anything? Oh.
Well, in high school, yeah, it was all about it. Yeah, see, in like middle school, it was all about like how a baby is made, and then high school is all about disease.
Actually, same for me. I think I remember my first sex ed class was like, you're gonna get a period, and this is what a period is.
Fucking blood everywhere, spurting out onto walls and ceilings.
I was such a weird kid. Oh my god, the first time I got a period, this made me so upset. I think it was Christmas Eve.
Were you leaving a trail behind like a slug?
Yeah. You could see, like, you could trace everywhere I'd been. No, but I told my aunt, she like gave me pads and stuff.
Like a wounded animal. She came this way.
But my aunt, she like, while she was driving me, my brother, sister, and my cousins somewhere, and the whole time she was loudly like talking to me about periods and explaining like what I'm supposed to do.
As loudly as possible.
Yeah, so like everyone in the car was like, "Oh, Celine just got her first period," and I was like, I don't remember how old I was, like 11.
Did anyone in the car go, "What's a period?"
Oh, don't you mean full stop? And then and I was the entire time I was like melting.
Yeah, in my car I wouldn't have the grammar to understand that. Full stop, I don't get it. What? Why are we stopping?
I don't think I heard the term full stop until I came to China, because I met someone who's from England and then
I can't tell if my English has improved or gotten worse since I became a teacher.
My English is like sucks now.
Yeah.
I forgot the word sport. Oh no, I forgot the word athlete. Like a couple months ago, and so I wrote sports people.
Sports ren.
Exactly. Oh, and I forgot the word safe. Like not like to feel safe, like with a lock and key safe. I forgot that word. I forgot it.
It's not important.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the word diabetic exists.
It does. Have you noticed that you start saying maybe all the time? Because the Chinese people say maybe all the time.
Oh yeah, I also will say
like maybe let's go get lunch.
Yeah.
Let's go get lunch.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that actually. I think I do.
Now you're gonna notice it.
Maybe. 很有可能.
How's your Chinese? Is it getting better?
It's definitely gotten better, but it's still really bad. Like once again, my textbook was for a 6-year-old. I think I might be HSK 4, So my Chinese pronunciation's like my best trait. It still sucks, but it's like better than everything else. So sometimes Chinese people think I'm actually Chinese, or they'll think like I speak really good Chinese because my pronunciation is good, and then they'll like go like blah, 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 and I'll be like, please stop, don't hurt me like this.
Isn't one of your parental units Chinese?
No, kind of. So my dad's from Hong Kong. But
Whoa. That's part of China. All right? One China policy. I'm going to call Xi right now. You're a fucking spy. I knew it. I'm going to get that reward money, 50 RMB.
Is there actually like...
That's probably a reward, yeah.
Oh my god. How many people are friends with me because they think I'm a spy? But no, I didn't grow up with my dad. And also he speaks Cantonese. He also speaks Mandarin, but like, nah. Doesn't matter.
How's Cantonese sound? I heard it sound. Every now and then there's a Chinese person who like will say something derogatory about a language. I'm like, what language? And they'll go, oh, Cantonese.
Oh my god.
I'm like, wait, what? Is it really that different?
It's super different. It's essentially just like a different language.
A genuinely different language.
Yeah, they have 9 tones.
That's bullshit.
I know, that sucks.
Tones in general are bullshit.
Yeah,
it's a stupid language.
I hate them.
Yeah, any character-based language is dumb.
It's so hard!
It's so dumb. It's so unnecessarily dumb.
It's so... Because, like, with English, you can, like, figure it out if you know the alphabet and, like, already know how to read some words. Mm-hmm. Like, you might say it wrong.
And you can figure out in context.
Yeah.
But in China, the context changes the meaning of the character. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to invent new characters, so they put old characters together. Because if they just always invent new characters, there'd just be 10 trillion characters and nobody would ever be able to use the language.
Yep.
God, it's just so flawed.
It's so hard.
It seems like they're just so desperately holding on to a flawed system.
It's so hard. Like,
everyone should speak English. Today, right now.
Wait, what's the name of that language that... there's like this language that someone created and it was supposed to be a super easy language to learn, and they created it to like be a universal language. I would love it if everyone could speak one language.
Almanac?
I don't remember the name.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think it's Almanac.
L. I don't remember.
Or probably not that. It's probably not that.
Yeah.
I think I just made up that word almanac, or I think it's from a video game.
Almanac is it's like a old-timey scene?
Or timekeeping device.
Are we just like where? I don't actually know what it is.
I think it's from Egypt. I think the staff that the pharaoh held is an almanac.
I think of a book. I think of like a manual.
The almanac.
Oh, like an almanac for travel.
Maybe, yeah.
Everyone listening to this podcast is probably like, these people are so dumb.
Yeah, these people have Google. Google it, you stupid fucks.
We don't have Google. We're in China.
Yeah, we're in China.
We have Baidu and Bing.
Oh God, worthless.
And Yahoo.
Worthless. Oh God. And most of Yahoo is blocked too.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Is Ask Jeeves still a thing?
I don't know. Is it? Let's ask Jeeves.
Wikipedia's not blocked in China.
Yeah, it's blocked now.
No. Wait, what?
It just got blocked this week.
No.
Yep, it's gone, girl. Did you need it for your research? Well,
no, it's fine.
Now.
It was just convenient to have it. Wait, are you serious? Wait, let me.
Mayo Wikipedia.
I'm trying to go on Wikipedia right now. Oh, I think you're right.
Have you ever heard anyone say Wikipedia?
What's that?
You want to Wi-Fi something? They just pronounce it Wi-Fi.
Oh, I think I forgot the Chinese word for Wikipedia.
Or meme. Anyone pronounce Mimi?
Mimi.
Yeah. Or APP instead of app.
Yeah, and PPT instead of PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Oh, and BBQ instead of barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Billions of them.
God damn it. What are they doing to our language? I don't know. I was barely literate before I came here, so.
Me too. I'm surprised they hired you.
I'm surprised they did. I'm surprised anyone who's ever hired me has hired me. I can't believe I've ever gotten a job. You know what's interesting? I've never once in my life gotten a job that I sent a resume to, but I've gotten every job I've ever interviewed for.
Wait, then how did you?
I just talk my way into everything.
But that's amazing. That's such a good skill.
I had a Skype interview, and they're like, "We love you. You're hired."
I hate you so much.
Every time I've ever seen somebody in person or the Skype interview for this job, I got the job.
I'm so bad at smooth talking.
But every single person I've ever sent my resume to, they're like, "Fuck off."
I hate. Oh really?
Yeah. My resume doesn't look good.
That's okay. That's okay. Oh, I wish I had that skill. I'm so actually like I remember I was like practicing interviewing with one of my friends, and they were like, "You should really sell yourself more." And then they were like
yeah,
if
don't talk about pooping in bags.
That's the first thing I say.
Yeah, exactly.
I pooped in a bag.
Do you have a bag around here? I need to poop. That Pringle box will do.
Oh, actually, I didn't poop in a Pringle can, but my sister did once.
I feel like that'd be hard to aim.
She was really young.
It's a small.
No, like your butthole's like smaller than.
Yeah, but I can't see my butt. It's not like I have a.
But you know where it is.
I don't have a scope on my butthole.
You know where it is.
How much time do you spend aiming with your butthole? Like how good are you? How good is your butthole aim?
Honestly, well, my butthole aim is pretty good.
Yeah.
My peeing.
Like if you put a paintbrush in your butthole and you have to paint a picture, how good do you think the picture would be?
No, but.
Because that's butthole control right there. Like,
that's different kind of.
And you don't get
control.
to look at the picture. Like you just have to sense where the paintbrush is.
I think I could do it.
And move the butthole around.
Honestly, I think I could do it like.
What do you think you could paint well?
I could paint like a heart.
A heart.
A smiley face.
Okay. Simple things.
I could probably paint you.
Paint me in high resolution.
Exactly. Oh, but no. I think. You don't need. When I think butthole aiming, I think of like being able to get in the toilet, which some people suck at. Because some people poop right next to the toilet. And you're like, why?
Do you really think that pooping next to the toilet accidentally?
Do you think it's still?
Have you lived this long and you think that it's accidental? Like they missed?
Well, in China, because you just squat over the toilet.
Yeah, but when you're in America, there's shit on the ceiling. Like it's not an accident.
Like, no.
They shit in their hand and threw it up there.
Why would you ever do that? I don't understand that like mentality of like I want my poop to be up here.
It's like marking territory.
With poop.
Yeah, that's mine now.
Actually, that's true. Like no one's gonna want to go in. Everyone will like look up at the ceiling and be like, nope, and walk away.
Also, it's like a time bomb because how often do you look at the ceiling?
Oh
and eventually it's gonna drip on somebody.
That would be awful.
It'd be awful. Let me tell you a story about my first year here in China.
Oh no.
Because all of the apartments, it's just copies, right? So every apartment is exactly the same, and they drill holes through all the concrete to put all the piping and stuff.
Oh.
And so in your bathroom, whatever bathroom your apartment is in, the apartment above you, their bathroom is right there above you.
What happened? Oh, did like a...
And so their shit pipe was coming out of their ceiling and then connecting to a pipe that was going down the wall, and then underneath me it was the same thing. My shit pipe was connecting to the pipe.
Oh, that's great.
And the pipe above my toilet was leaking their toilet water, and it would drip directly into my toilet.
Oh my god, so when you were like sitting on the toilet...
I would hold an umbrella.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
For an entire year, I sat on a toilet with an umbrella.
What is this madness? Why didn't you talk to your landlord?
They didn't give a shit.
They literally did.
Yeah. I had to argue just to get into that apartment. The apartment they first put me in, the water didn't run, and the toilet was just filled to the brim with black sludge.
Jesus Christ.
And she was like, "It's nice, right?" And I was like, "Bitch, take me back to the airport right now. I'm getting the fuck out of this place." That was out in Jiangxia in the middle of nowhere.
Of course.
But yeah, just sit on the toilet for a year with an umbrella. Just sitting there, shitting, listening to the shit water drip on the umbrella.
I cannot believe this is real life. This is like, that sucks so bad.
It was pretty fucking hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing.
Like while you're taking a dump.
Seriously, every day. I just couldn't stop laughing at the absurdity of it.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine. Oh man, I hate poops. Like, oh, what do you think is worse, poop or vomit?
Poop, definitely.
Yeah, poop is pretty bad. But vomit's really gross too.
Vomit is like acidic, and so
it hurts.
Yeah, it's like it's nasty in that regard.
Yeah.
And it really depends on what they ate.
Yeah.
I bet vegan vomit's not that bad.
Yeah. Maybe.
But my puke is pretty bad.
Mine.
If I've been eating like cheesesteaks and barbecue and like.
Wait, what's a cheesesteak?
A cheesesteak?
Yeah.
It's chopped up steak on a sandwich roll with lots of cheese and onions fried into it. You never had a cheesesteak?
No.
Check my moments. I got a great cheesesteak on there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I actually really want. I want to eat steak so badly. But I like steak in a very weird way. I like really, really rare steak.
Like thrown at you at high velocity.
And I catch it in my mouth like a dog.
And you don't use your hands, you just shake your head like a T-Rex.
And then like swallow like a bird.
Yeah.
No, I like really, really rare steak, but not even just like it's borderline unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I cook my own steak, I'll cook it for like each side I'll cook it for like 15 seconds.
That's pretty gross.
And then I'll be like, it's perfect.
I actually love burned food.
Oh,
yeah.
what?
And so
like burnt toast?
My food might upset you. Actually, no, I fucking hate burnt bread, but I love burnt meat.
Oh.
And it's like when I have sausages, I'll cut them down the middle and burn them black on the inside and outside.
Sausages, I think, are different. Oh, you burn it black?
Yeah, black, like charcoal black. Like you can take it and draw like with
Why don't you just
chalk.
Eat pieces of charcoal?
Because they don't taste like pork. I guess if you could
smoke them.
If I could get like charcoal flavored pork or pork flavored charcoal, I'd probably eat that. Yeah. And I like well done burgers, well done steaks. Yeah.
You're ruining it. Actually, burgers you should actually have it like well done.
Yeah, definitely.
Ground beef.
I just like that. I like that char taste.
That's so interesting. Yeah. I kind of get it because there are some things that I like that I like them like singed, not quite burnt.
There's something called Chicago style where it's like it's got char on the outside of a steak, but it's like still medium rare on the inside.
Oh, medium rare.
I guess that I would be happy with that. Medium rare. Oh, you Philistine.
I love rare meat. I love like raw fish too. Oh, it's so good.
So you like sushi?
Yeah, I love sushi. But I love sashimi because like it's just the fish. 'Cause, like for me, everything else is like extra that I don't want or need.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Get this shit away from me.
Rice, but I want all of that fish. Oh my god, I want to eat fish now. I'm hungry.
I made pasta last night, but I made my own homemade tomato sauce. Mm-hmm. It sucked.
I'm sure it did.
It was
like
just,
everything in your life.
Yeah, everything is a fucking disappointment. No, but I thought it was so convenient because that store right over there just started selling pasta. Uh-huh. And so I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna make my own pasta sauce. And it was terrible. So I'm just gonna go to Care for it and get some real shit.
You gave up. Yeah. Like first attempt, it didn't work.
Gave up immediately.
Done.
Yeah,
I'm done with this.
That's my policy right there. Try it once, give it maximum effort, and then give up.
Do you
every day.
Do you think you are someone who like tries hard at things you're bad at, or you only try hard at things you're good at?
I think I try way harder at things I'm bad at.
Interesting.
Much harder. I think that things that I'm naturally good at, I immediately lose interest in.
Oh.
Like, I was really, really good at pottery, and I immediately didn't give a shit about pottery anymore.
You could have been the greatest potter.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
The greatest Potter in the world doesn't get any respect, so nobody wants to be the greatest Potter in the world. That's like being the fastest speed walker in the world. No one gives a shit.
Oh my god, people walk so slow.
I know. Or what about doing a zigzag and you're trying to get past them and they keep moving in that direction?
Oh my god.
And they're so little. I just want to like reach out like a fucking pterodactyl wing and bear claw them in the side of the head. Get the fuck out of my way.
I'm coming through. Or when people walking in line. Like the human wall. Oh wait,
I always get like a bunch of grannies locked arm in arm and I can't get past them.
You should just part them.
Just hit them at full speed. Just get a running start.
Red Rover. Brian's coming over.
Take out as many as possible. Yeah, it's a good policy.
How's your set?
How's my set?
Cause didn't you do a comedy show?
I did some in Shanghai a little while ago.
Oh yeah, how was that? Yeah.
It was good. Shanghai.
Nice.
Different crowd, definitely different comedians, and it was good to meet them and see what they think about shit and stuff. You know?
Literal.
Yeah. I planned 3 sets at 3 different places, but I was out until 5 o'clock in the morning drinking the first 2 nights in a row, and the third day I was in bed hungover literally until midnight.
Oh my god.
And I was supposed to go on stage at like 7 o'clock that night.
Did you just call them?
Yeah, at like 5:30 I messaged them and I was like, I literally can't get out of bed still at 5:30. I went and got McDonald's at like 10 p.m. Just barely able to get there and get back.
That sounds awful.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
I haven't been that hungover in so long.
Oh my god, yeah, being hungover sucks. Also, for me, when I drink a lot, I wake up really, really early the next day and I can't go back to sleep. It's awful. And also, when I drink, I become the most useless person in the world.
How's that?
I can't do anything. Last night I was at Patty's and I had 2 Long Island iced teas, which I shouldn't have done. And I tried to nap.
You animal.
Which is a lot for me. It got me really drunk.
You're like, woo, fucking bottling people.
No, I'm not that kind of drunk. I'm a useless drunk. I tried to nap near some bushes.
Are you one of those people who just goes unconscious randomly?
I won't.
You're like, this side road is a great place to take a nap.
Yeah, actually, I tried to.
No,
one time
people are annoying.
I also throw up I throw up a lot. Oh god, I'm a mess. The thing is I always think that I can drink more than I actually can.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Because I'll be like, I'm sure I've improved since last time.
Nope.
But no, I should always stop at 2 drinks, but I never.
You should just do a different drug.
Or even wonder. Honestly,
you should start smoking weed or something.
There we go. Yeah. I've actually never done any drug except for alcohol.
Oh my god.
I'm good. No,
we should get some heroin and hookers.
This podcast becomes something else.
Go right into the deep end.
I mean, honestly, I think right before I die, I'm gonna be I'm gonna try all the drugs, every single one.
There's one last drug I want to do. I'm gonna wait until I'm really old to do it. Is DMT. I'm gonna wait. Dimethyltryptamine. It's a really powerful hallucinogen. Oh. And
you're gonna kill people before you die. You're gonna bring people down with you.
No. I'm gonna wait until I'm 45 or 50 and do that.
Wait, that's when you're gonna die, Brian? 50?
I can't believe I'm alive right now. Shit, I'm almost 30. I can feel myself going. I feel like I've been Thanos snapped, but really slowly. I'm just disintegrating.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Are you?
What do you want from me?
I'm still worried that you think you're gonna die at 50.
I'd be surprised if I make it to 50.
You're supposed to live to I think for men the average age of death is 75, and then right?
Yeah, women live longer.
It's 82.
Men do all the work.
No. No. It's because of men are less likely to go to the doctor.
Oh yeah. And we have to deal with all the fucking nagging.
Yeah, and you're more likely to commit suicide too.
Yeah. It's from the nagging.
No.
Yeah. Single men literally live forever. They're immortal.
Oh my god, I'm scared of relationships right now. I'm this podcast is gonna get serious. I might take a DD.
How far are you going? You're never gonna make it.
Let me see. But yeah, relationships are scary. I don't understand. I know so many people who get in relationships like it's nothing, and maybe it's because we have a different outlook on what a relationship should be. But I think they're terrifying.
Yeah, I agree. They're terrifying. Yeah, I have. Sometimes I can't tell if I have high standards or if I just hate everybody.
It's both.
Both? Yeah. So it's really difficult for me to find people who I can stand for long periods of time.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's more like most people I meet, I don't think I'll care very much about them. And then every now and then I meet someone where I'm like, oh my god, I would like love to spend all this time with you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I love spending time alone. I think that's
Me too.
like it's like
whenever I'm dating somebody, I need to make it clear to them that like sometimes I need to be alone.
yeah. I remember I read this thing that someone wrote about like because they were writing about like
some lonely motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm so alone.
They were describing like introverts or something, and they said the reason I need this time alone is because like you're competing with me. Like time with myself is so great that like you're even though you might be great, but the time I spend with you is in competition with time spent with me and how much I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is how I feel. Like, but sometimes I meet people where I'm like I like spending time with them feels sort of almost the same as spending time alone.
Mm-hmm.
Almost.
Is that saying something good about that person?
Yeah. Or it means they have no
when
presence.
I'm with you, it's almost like I'm alone. Wait, where are you? Hey, are you here?
That's like having a stalker. Have you ever had a stalker?
I've had some creepy shit.
Like what?
I had this girl in college come up to me at a party and say, I saw you last night.
Oh god. Wait, what does that mean? Because it could mean many things.
And I was like, what do you mean you saw me last night? And she's like, I watched you having sex last night.
What?
Yeah. I guess she thought she was breaking the ice. I'm not sure.
I don't understand that. Why would you? I get like uncomfortable if I hear people having like one time I crashed at this girl's place and she started having sex with a guy in her room and I could hear them and I was immediately like I'm leaving because I felt so uncomfortable.
Did you leave really loudly, obnoxiously?
I should have.
Like,
no.
Clomping around.
It was so dumb. I couldn't figure out how to open the door. I think I'm actually.
Did she have to come out and help you?
No, that would have been amazing. I was this close to texting her though because I was in front of the door for like 10 minutes. Not actually over 10 minutes being like.
Doors are complicated, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're on the inside of the door, very
I
complicated.
think I'm actually like a very dumb person.
There's at least one knob, usually.
Am I dumb? Am I dumb, Brian?
That's not for me to say. But in the end, she thought that I was somebody else.
Oh.
And
okay.
she wanted to fuck him, and he was my neighbor, and so she came to my dorm and looked through my window, thinking I was him.
That's so.
Because she heard that he lived on the end of the hall.
That's so creepy.
And I guess I didn't close my window that night.
Oh my god, what a weird. That's so creepy.
So creepy. And I told her it was.
What'd she say?
And she was flabbergasted that like she thought she was flirting, and she was shocked that it didn't work.
I feel like.
And I was like, first of all, I'm not him. Secondly, do you think that this is okay to say this to somebody?
Jesus Christ.
You know?
I mean, it makes like people go through different different stages of like social development, but it sounds like she like got stunted somewhere for a very long time.
Very, very stunted. Well, I think that most women are really awkward. I think that they don't have the
women.
Well, men are also awkward, but they have like a trial by fire period in their life where shit like that gets weeded out real fast.
That's so interesting.
You know, she was like 20 years old when she said that to me.
I get
you know, a man saying the exact same thing at 20 years old goes to jail.
Yeah.
You know, so all the extreme stuff gets weeded out when you're in like middle school.
I think what you're saying is true, but I guess just going from my own experience, I've met more men who were socially awkward than women.
It's because you don't have a lot of women trying to have sex with you.
That makes sense.
They're awkward as shit.
That makes that's amazing. I would love that. Oh my god.
Sometimes it's frustrating when, especially when a really beautiful girl is trying to seduce you.
And then,
but like trying to seduce you aggressively, like she wants to have sex now, and she doesn't really know how to get there. She doesn't know how to get from A to C. Like she doesn't know where B is.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy awkward situations, and so I'm like, I could help. I could meet her halfway, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Let's let her suffer for a little while. Yeah.
Humble brag. No, I'm just kidding.
Humble brag, maybe, but I don't know.
I like it when people are upfront, but I can't. But I feel bad saying this, but I actually have met some people who were like, they're really upfront about their intentions, but it weirdly made me uncomfortable, which I don't think it should. Like one time someone.
Well, if they're like, I'm gonna kill you and eat your body, that should make you uncomfortable.
No. I guess we go. No, just kidding.
Or they're like, can I borrow $500? You won't get it back.
No, like when people are trying to have sex with you, and like one person actually just said to me like, I want to have sex with you. I never met this person before. I was like with a friend at a bar, and I was like, oh no, thank you, that's sweet.
You give them double guns?
Yeah, of course. I give them finger guns.
Pew, 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 pew. Everyone knows that means pew, 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 not having sex with you.
I'm also. You would love watching my life because every day is like this, Brian.
You should just film everything.
I should.
And make a vlog.
While I'm pooping too.
Yeah, the bag poop, awkwardest girl in the world vlog.
But there are situations that I encounter where I'm like, how do people navigate these situations? I genuinely don't know. Oh, and then that guy, the one who was like, I want to have sex with you, he also like offered to lick my butthole, and I was.
That always works.
What do you mean? Really?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay.
But why so this is what I'm curious about. I wish I could talk to that guy because I want to ask him, did it ever work? Because what if in his life that worked like 3 times in a row, and now he thinks that's just the strategy. Yeah. He's like, it works so often.
This is the line. This is the line that you have to say.
100%.
Maybe it's just like a lot of girls he was with liked getting their butt.
Yeah, I think he just met 3 butthole lickers in a row, and he was like, "Hey, can I have sex with you?" And they were about to give him double guns, like no, and he's like, "I'll lick your butthole." And they're like, "Whoa, that's a good offer." I usually have to work that in, but he's putting it right on the table.
Oh my god, yeah, I bet that's how it is. I might still have his WhatsApp if you want it.
I've never had my butthole licked, so.
Dog.
Get a dog?
I'm a horrible person.
You're a monster.
No, this is good. No, like actually, how many people listen to this? I should have used a fake name.
Well, we got your name and social security number.
Oh, we only said my first name, so I'm safe, right?
Okay, yeah.
I don't think you even know my last name.
I don't know your last name. You're like a ghost. You could be anyone.
Could be anyone. Okay, I should leave.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It's been another episode of Bullshit and Video Games. Thank you, Celine, for being a guest today.
You're welcome.
Oh, that sounded sarcastic. Everyone, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that bullshit down below. I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How am I gonna find man I'm supposed to be? The man I am ain't the man